G'day guys, welcome to another episode of Sailing Popao. We are super excited to announce that we've teamed up with the guys at Itechworld over in Western Australia, and they've kindly provided us with all this awesome stuff to try out.
Join us this episode as we untangle this bird's nest and perform a lithium heart transplant on Popao. I've triggered Michael.
I'm going to take the door off.
So much boat yoga. Living the dream.
Yeah, you need noodles on a stool on a wet floor.
So we reached out to Itechworld about a month ago. They're an Australian family-run business. So yeah, we're super excited to jump on board with them and give these products a try.
So we've got our old batteries here, the flooded lead acid. We had 6-volt golf carts wired in series and parallel, which gave us a total of 440 amp hours. But because it was flooded lead acid, we could only use 50% safely. The weight difference is unbelievable. Like one of these 6-volt golf carts is about 30 kilos versus the Itech, which is like 12 kilos. Unbelievable. Yeah, so for the similar footprint, we've like gained, more than 50% usable capacity for about a third of the weight. So the biggest issue we had with the flooded lead acid is we had to keep topping them up with water, obviously, just to maintain them. And when the batteries don't get charged fully, which, living on a boat, sometimes you don't get the sun to charge properly, the plates would sulfate, which would create resistance, and then just like a never-ending cycle where more sulfation would happen, and then the batteries would get hotter and hotter. Eventually they end up spilling everywhere in the boat, and they off gas, there's the acid, it's like literally acid in there. You can see all that sulfation build up in there. Look at that, unbelievable. Yeah, it's going to be so nice to not have to top the water up. So we were always planning to upgrade to lithium, but when these overflowed, obviously it forced our hand, and yeah, I'm just thankful we weren't in the Kimberleys or somewhere really remote, because it would have been a bit of a tricky situation not being able to live, we would have just been living off the starter battery really. So this shows how bad these batteries got with the electrolyte leaking out, which is acidic. You just neutralize it with a bit of bicarb soda, but look at that.
So we got our new delivery, got new fridge, new batteries, inverter and DC to DC charger. Excited, Michael?
Game changer. Alright, so the first thing I need to do before I parallel these is make sure that the voltages are all the same. I think 0.02 of a volt is what
acceptable.
Is generally acceptable, but this is how they come out of the factory. Let's have a look. 13.14, 13.14, 13.14. There you go.
Nice.
So
that means you don't have to charge anything, or?
No, they're all the same. So
if they were different, would you have to charge them to bring up to the right
I'm assuming
voltage?
you just have to get them charged, but it's good that they shipped like that. So I've made up these cables here, and yeah, I'll just parallel these batteries together, which will make one big bank. So when you parallel the bank, you keep the same voltage, but you increase the capacity. So this will be 360
oh my
amp hours of lithium.
So how's the spaghetti fest going down here, Michael?
It's not too bad. It's not too good either.
Everything's labelled, at least from the last time you...
Oh, it's a huge improvement from what it used to be, that's for sure.
Yep.
But still, I would like to do it a lot different, but it's a major. We'll get them in and just see how we're going space-wise.
Yep. Well, you don't need a hand with those ones.
No, so
two at
light.
a time.
Crazy.
It is ridiculous.
So, it's pretty good. I mean, like we could hook it up as before, just because the batteries just drop straight in. You just replace it and do it that way. But I've always wanted to have a tidier battery box, so this is our only chance to do it, like from the start kind of thing. So I'm just making up a battery cable. I've made all the battery cables to parallel the bank together, but I'm going to do one to go between the bank and the shunt. But all the old battery cables, I pulled all the old tape that was on them. And you can just see how dodgily these were crimped together, like oversized crimps for the smaller wire. So, you know, it obviously worked, but I'm going to get the right size.
Why is it dodgy? What is there a danger in that?
Oh, I don't know. I think it's just poor contact. So to remove the insulation, you just nick the outside casing and then you just bend it so you don't accidentally cut into, like if you push too hard with the razor blade, you can cut into those strands and you end up with all these little broken wires. So I just measure it off the lug there, and then just carefully just nick the outside all the way around. Peel it around. There we go. To get that to fit into here, obviously it doesn't fit, so there's a little trick. Get a bit of whipping twine or some small string that you can really put a bit of pressure on, and you just wrap it up. And that way you can get it started, no worries. Just be careful, make sure that all the strands are inside the casing. And then you just work it on. You could just wind it the other way. You can just take off a layer at a time. And that way you get a nice jam-packed lug with good conductivity.
Are you going to be sleeping on the boat tonight or not?
See how we go. Probably. Can make it happen today, I think. We could have been done the first day if we just did the straight swap.
Yeah.
Just hooked up the batteries, but we decided to tidy it up once and for all while we don't have to stay on the boat. So we've rerouted all the negative cables around here to this side, and I've took that big bus bar that was there and just glued this patch on last night so that all the negative bus will come to here. That will go, the top of the shunt will go to the batteries, and then we'll just have a feeder going onto here. The winch can go there, and then we can do another smaller negative bus down this end. Just opens it up instead of trying to weave everything around, and it was...
And we also had a few things that weren't on the shunt, and like they were directly to the battery, so we're just doing everything properly now. So we've decided to cut all the ends off the battery cables. They're all just way oversized for the cable, and it just makes it so hard to get on like the bus bars and stuff. So we've got the right sized ones and just tidying it up. Anyway, it's going to look really nice. We've done this nice one with the right size connectors, and it actually sits a lot better too, because they just sort of get this muscle memory in the cables, and the lugs are really hard to like get onto a new position. So at least now we can like line up the lug. We can put that on the cable and like turn it into the right position and then crimp it on, and then we're not like wrestling the cables.
Okay, so we're in here trying to do some fishing. What are you going on down there?
Well, I'm trying to cut the cable tie, but I need to see it.
Want to take the door off?
I need to see it. Oh, I got it! I've been doing everything by feel, but I needed to actually see that one because I was cutting cable tie around wires like at the edge of the...
All for the sake of a little bit more tidiness. Pulling these wires out of this hole and putting them in that one so it can go straight up.
They're all tangled, so... Alright, well that was fun. We've got all of these coming out of the right holes now, so the ones that are going to run across are nice and flush against this. Where's that tool we were using, the grabber? This thing is so handy on a boat.
It's the greatest tool I've ever stole from Dad's garage. Hope you know what.
Oh, is that a Dad's?
You can get ones with little lights on the end too.
They have them at Repco,
Yeah.
so
You
if
get
you
ones
want
with,
one.
even with cameras on the end so you can see what you're trying to grab.
Yeah, we might need one of them for the back.
I need a giant one for crays.
We are calling it a night. It's nearly midnight and we are...
It's nearly midnight.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We are absolutely wrecked and there's no way we're going to hook it up tonight because we are just like delirious at this stage. So we're going to just leave it. We were going to just sort of whip something up to have showers, but we're not making sense. So we're going to call it, go back to Dad's. He'd be like, what the hell are you doing home? So, yeah, we're just going to call it, go back, have showers, have a good night's sleep, come down refreshed. There's not a lot to do tomorrow. It's just all like the tidying up and all that stuff. I say not a lot, but I said that yesterday and the day before. But yeah, we ran out of lugs.
We might even sign up to the J-Car Club membership finally. Do you want to sign on? I was like, oh, does that get a discount? They said, no, we just put your receipts on file. I'm like, nah, I don't need it.
I knew we should have as soon as they said
Four
that.
trips later, and we're like, oh, we can return these. We don't need that. We're going to get this.
Anyway, we're going to row back in the rain and have a hot shower and a good sleep.
Hey,
100.
The battery rewiring. We've done four trips to J-Car, couple to Whitworth's.
Bent some lugs.
On
the Vice, Dad's place.
The problem we have in there is this battery switch. The cables, they sit and they get flexed there. So I'll just chuck these in the Vice.
What the previous owner had done on huge
and
logs.
at least it just clears that edge a bit better. Tiny bit better. But as opposed to going straight down and having to put a big bend in them.
That's designed for the cables to go out the front, that isolator switch.
We've got 8 hours till it gets dark this time. So I think we'll get it done.
Alright, update. We've done all the heavy lifting, I hope. All the crappy big cables that aren't very fun. And what are you doing now, Michael? The little...
Well, I'm just getting this into position and putting on the negatives.
Finishing touches, and then we've just got to do the other side as well. This is all like the house, you know, bilges and I don't know, bilges, fridges, all that stuff. So that will go down here onto this one, which we're just going to tidy up. And a lot of them are going to just get shortened as well because they're too long. I've triggered Michael. He's upset because I put the labels on.
I swear she put that on. Otherwise, just
The current status of the weather. It's been like the tropics the last 2 days. 30 degrees, humid, so humid. We are so close to being done. I'm so excited to turn it on and see if it works.
Still got a little bit to go.
This sounds pretty good. These are all the positives. So these run down to the switchboards. We're just going to buy a new switchboard tomorrow. This is a little
Fuse block.
Sorry, fuse block. So these are the unswitched ones like bilges and water pumps and stuff, which we don't want people to turn off. We've got a water pump switch already near the kitchen. The freezer, the fridges, so when they're unswitched, no one can just come along and accidentally turn them off. We need to run some wire for the house, so we don't have anything connecting the switchboards and that unfused block at the moment. And then this is all pretty good and tidy down here, our negatives. And then Michael's little fancy, very fancy. Look at you, that's your work of art, isn't it?
Oh, I've always wanted to do a bus bar like that. And now I have. I'm pretty proud of it.
And then we're going to do a big clean up, vacuum in here and put the batteries in and have dinner.
Yeah, I'm starving.
Feeling confident, Michael?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, I think so. That sounds so confident.
Alright. A few more little bits, bobs.
Bits and bobs.
Bobs and bits.
Bobs and bits. We're 90% of the way there. But how many days have we been doing this?
4 days.
4 days of rerouting. It's very tidy.
Sort of.
We've fully rerouted it. There's a few things, we need a bigger fuse block and all that stuff, but we've had enough. We just want to just do a quick run through
I want
and
to test these lithiums out.
test everything works and have a shower and stay on the boat tonight because we've been staying at home, so by the time we go and buy stuff from Whitworth and do all that stuff, we've just been wasting half a day. Yeah, like most of it's pretty tidy. Like everything's got these really nice labels. It's been routed nicely, so positives on this side, negatives on this side.
Let's get these batteries in. Michael's just doing the tight test.
Just making sure everything's tightened up and ready to go, and then we'll just put the batteries in and
fire it up.
fire up.
Maybe not fire up. Hopefully.
The storm has passed. My bedtime has passed. And I'm ready.
I'm starving.
Okay, well, let's get those batteries up and at them.
Yep. Get the light there.
No reason.
So a few people messaged me on Instagram saying they've actually got these same batteries under the bonnet of their car.
Oh yeah?
And they've been just, yeah, like they've absolutely smashed them on corrugated roads and all that. And they've been really good. Like no issues at all, dust or whatever. It's comforting to know. Not that they'll get that much movement. I think a corrugated road's probably the worst test you could put any gear through, really. I think it's really cute how when you were preparing for the batteries, you like made those things up. Like, oh, I'm so organised now that I've got
my 4 battery cables.
yeah.
Yes, well, I was always deep down going to redo the whole lot, wasn't I? Okay, that doesn't fit.
In case you were worried, Michael,
Mm-hmm.
those batteries match our bladder. They're
And
colour
my
coordinated.
multimeter.
any multimeters.
It's a
The
Sine.
DT.
Let's have a look. Oops. This is the great. What do you call it?
Great reveal.
See if it works. It could either be massive sparks and flames or lights turn on. Ready?
Hey!
Nice. What's that? Water pump.
Hell yeah.
Oh, very good.
How good is that?
Look at that. That's so tidy.
It's our baby.
Damn it.
I'm so
There we
proud.
go. Lithium. I wish I painted that now.
I turned the light on up here, but
Yeah, well, no flames, no smoke. That's always a bonus.
always a plus. It's funny because we still need to turn the torch on up here because there's no light. This is the beginning of the next season of Sailing Popao. We're going to move back on now. So I'm really, really excited to get back out there and just start living on our boat, on our home again. So yeah. Excited, Michael?
I'm excited to have a shower and a hot meal. Oh well, Jess. Final thoughts?
I'm old. Feeling very middle-aged.
You did very well with the your electrical apprenticeship.
Yes, thank you. I feel like I've passed, I don't know, 6 months. mark.
It's a blind leading the blind most of the time, but
No, it's good. I have a much better understanding of the boat now. I feel like I could do more than just change a fuse. The position, my body is aching.
boat yoga.
Oh, so much boat yoga. And not even bad positions, just like because we're sitting like that for so long. My knees and back are so
Yeah,
sore.
my knees are back too. Killing.
But it's good. We'll have a break now, get what we need. I feel like we've gone over the hill and now we're going to get back to that work-play ratio because it's been just all work. Like I can tell you now, it's not been the greatest few months in lockdown. So yes, anyway, I'm going to cook dinner. I'm going to go turn the gas bottle on and let's bloody living the dream.
Living the dream. You eat noodles on a stool on a wet floor.
Yeah, because we can't sit out there. It's all wet and up here is just covered in crap. But far out, it's crazy how quick time goes. Like, just thinking that took us 4 days. Big days.
Just a lot of planning, really.
Yeah.
Contemplating.
First 2 days were like that.
Like if you had to repeat that job again, you'd knock it out in
I'd buy wire strippers.
a couple of days probably.
For the big one.
Well, we'll never have to do those big ones again, hopefully.
Touch wood.
After a few days of tinkering, Michael finally got to a stage he was happy with. Untangled wires, all clearly labelled, heat shrunk and very, very neat.
So we're super excited to finally be shifting over to lithium from our lead acid bank. It was a huge issue for us. Just having that lead acid bank, having to top the water up, and just the charging was a nightmare. And
the constant battle to get to like 100%. Editing on a sunny day was basically what my life had come to, which was pretty depressing. Like, I love editing and I enjoy making videos, but when it's sunny outside and like Michael's going fishing or something, it really sort of sucks. So I'm really excited that we're going to be able to like have movie days inside on a rainy day and stuff like that, not have to worry so much about the power.
They're good for a 150 amp continuous discharge, like a peak of 275 amps, like for each battery. So I'm going to parallel these, which gives us 320 amp hours of capacity, and they've all got a smart BMS in them, so they will stop the batteries from overcharging and undercharging.
Overheating.
So it's like it's basically a smart fuse in there. And because we're paralleling the bank, we're going to have triple the amount of continuous discharge, and also the max charging input is also tripled. So we can charge this whole bank as one, I think 150 amps at a time. And the thing with the lead acid, the problem with the charging was we've got enough solar, but
wow.
we've got enough solar, and looking at our battery monitor stats, we were actually harvesting more energy than we were using, but a lot of that was just getting wasted in that absorption stage of the lead acid, which would just go to waste, because to charge a lead acid battery, to charge a lead acid battery to 100%, you have to put like roughly about 130% back in, and it was just in that inefficiency that we were just always losing out and fighting. So whatever the solar puts in will get stored in these, and we can just take it straight out. Yeah, so the internal resistance on lithium batteries is heaps lower, so it'll accept a charge a lot faster. So basically we can charge these, each of these you can charge up to like 50 amps, and that's about the max limit of our solar. So if we wanted to even boost it with a Jenny or another solar panel later on, we'll be able to charge these real quick. So they are fully IP67 rated.
The 6 is dust proof and the 7 means it's waterproof to a meter for 30 minutes or something.
The other thing is the cycle life of the lithium battery is like 3,000 to 5,000 cycles, depending on how much you draw them down, compared to the lead acid, which like best case scenario is 1,000, but typically like 300 to 500 cycles.
So when we sort of did a bit of research, the lithium turns out to be about 3 times as much as lead acid. But when you think about it, you put in context that you're going to get about 3 times more life cycles out of lithium. It really actually ends up being pretty similar in the long run, doesn't it?
Well, you know, these things are going to outlast the boat, basically.
Probably, yeah. They'll probably see us.
They'll go on to the new owner, however far down the track that is. And
yeah, so these are all backed by a 3-year warranty, replacement warranty. I think that says a lot about this company, that it's a replacement warranty. They stand by their products. So yeah, it's really good to have that bit of, I don't know, safety. Or, yeah, just know that that's going to happen.
No, they've got some pretty good reviews online that we've seen, and seen some pretty harsh tests of these, like under the bonnet of people's cars for over a year, and still holding the same amount of capacity. And
I think if they can cross the Tanami, if there's anyone out there that's done the Tanami, we've only seen parts of it, but if that can do the Tanami, I think they're going to be just fine on a boat. G'day everyone.
G'day.
So we just thought we'd touch base. We've had the batteries for about 4 months now.
It's been that long?
Yeah, it's been a while. So we've given them a pretty good nudge. We've been living on board full time for about 2 months, I think.
Yeah, and we've definitely put them through their paces with the amount of East Coast lows we've had in the New South Wales and Queensland coast. It's been brutal.
Yeah, hasn't it?
I think like,
how many floods have we had? 3? 2
numerous
or 3?
floods, like weeks. I think one time we went 16 days of just constant rain. So
that was literally the week we moved back on the boat. So
it's been a good test of the batteries, and they've held up really well. We've run the generator a few times, probably, I don't know,
every 3 days,
handful of times, I reckon. Not too much, but yeah, just being able
to top it up, right?
To use the batteries full range, you know, like just stay at the bottom range and not damage them is amazing compared to the lead acid where the voltage just drops like crazy. You know, it just has been holding a solid like 13 volts.
We just had basically a month of solid rain, a couple of days here and there of sun, but I actually think that I've seen a lot of people have damaged their batteries in the last few weeks in this weather. So we got them just in time for all that bad weather. And it's just been a life changer.
It's been amazing. Like it's probably one of the most life-changing mods we've done to the boat, I reckon.
Yeah, it's been life-changing for me in particular just because of editing. I've been able to edit whenever I want, basically, you know, not in the middle of the night, but early morning, late afternoon, in the night, I can just pick the laptop up and I don't have to stress about what the sun's doing, what the batteries are doing, because basically you don't have to wait for them to get into float like the lead acid.
Yeah, whatever the solar brings in, basically I think it's like 97% efficiency just goes straight into storage, so you can just use all of it, and it's that for a liveaboard cruiser is like makes all the difference. So anyway, we wanted to really put them through their paces first before we start spruiking them and telling people to buy them, because if they were no good, we wouldn't want to recommend it to you guys. But I can honestly say, hand on heart, that these batteries are awesome, and we are so happy that we have them.
so happy. So we've got the 3 120 X's installed, and we've also got a 2000 watt inverter, which has been amazing. If you're interested in buying any of those products, we do have a code.
Or any of the products, really.
The code works on anything. So it's up to 10% off across their entire range, and the coupon is, what is it, Michael?
Popao, P-O power. So that'll get you 10% off. We don't get any cut of that or anything. It's just a discount for our viewers, which is very handy. And and we've also got a little tender battery that we're going to do a video on.
Yes,
but that's
coming up.
A game changer as well. Just like it just feels like nothing, and the tender battery lasts probably like 3 days instead of 1, because we can use the whole capacity. So
anyway, that will be coming up in a couple of videos time.
Anyway, thanks so much for sitting through the refit videos. Hopefully you enjoy them and you're learning a few things, and because we're definitely enjoying all the mods we've been doing. If you have any questions, feel free to send us a message on Instagram or Facebook.
Or comment below.
Yeah. And we'll see you on the next one. We're nearly out of refit, and
back to diving. Got some good stuff coming your way.
Stay tuned. Thanks,
Cheers,
guys.
everyone. Bye.
Next episode on Sailing Popao, we tackle a number of smaller jobs.
And fix the bow where someone's crashed into us on the mooring.
We don't actually know how the window goes in. We think it's just sealed and it just sits there. This is ridiculous. Ah, I just want to kick it out. Giving it the pregnancy push. G'day everyone.
G'day guys, thank you so much for all your support. We've been overwhelmed with the amount of orders we've got on the merch.
Yeah, if you haven't already got some, head on over to sailingpopao.com to check it out.
Also, just wanted to say another huge thank you to all our patrons out there. Your support is amazing.
Really appreciate it.
Thank you, and see you on the next one.
See you next episode.
Oh, this.
I missed the first bit.
You make me throw up. Ready?
Yeah.
This or this? Top one. Second one. Which one? You were videoing it.
Can I do it?
Huh?
Can I turn it?
No bloody way if you want one.
Oh yeah, these are good batteries.